freeze there for a moment. I don't know what can happen. Sometimes technology fights back. So then the importance of waiting I want can talk today. Now that make technology somehow is fighting back. What I get for talk today very, very important. And sometimes the way you can write an exam was so important to you, where they go inside the exam all your all nerves and everything. Like literally today, my family, I've been get for say a prayer for make God give me the correct words them for use, for make God give me utterance. And there's never a time I come to the show or I do the show without first saying a prayer for God for guide and protect me. Also watch over the viewers, then watch over everyone that is involved and that is part of the show. And and make God give me sababu. And most of me where they put me safe and they put me face to something for God for protect me, because listen, there are evil eyes out there. But anyways, the second thing where I want to talk about briefly, and I don't know for say the NGC come out with the report where then say then get consultation, the whole consultation with people that will left the party, and the committee where then set up come out with a report. I'm not gonna go inside too deep into that report today, but one thing where I go say after I read the report, because when I know me, I'm a political junkie. Everybody has to have their kryptonite, right? you know. Um, so I read the report, I look, read, but in something just wasn't adding up to me. So I waited for a few minutes, then I begin see reactions to the report, right? I begin see reactions to the report. And to know me is to know that where I have gone wrong, and I notice say I go wrong, and I realize I'm immediately. If na ya I talk am, na ya I dey come back, I can't talk am and apologize. If na me page I talk am, I dey go back na me page and I dey go apologize. Before I say what I want for say, this can always escape me. To those watching on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, funnily enough, I already say for the past month or more, the YouTube numbers them are triple what our Facebook numbers are. So Facebook, to me Facebook viewers them, please don't give up, don't relent. Resubscribe so that when I go get the notifications them to the one them where they view una share and call more people them for can watch. I may be young, I might be young, yes indeed, and I might be young, but that doesn't mean that I cannot say something that maybe it's not impactful, okay? And una share, una support we, una do whatever you can. But here's what I want to say. When I am wrong, I am the first to admit that I am wrong. When I do the first analysis of the audio, now remember that leaked audio way happened of Dr. Yunkela where they talk, and you could sense the frustration and whatever. And then following that, we see an exodus. We see an exodus from within top ranking members them of the NGC, right? We see an exodus. And then Nayaso, me self Matilda Atimap, I talk about political formation, political processes, democracies, the building of democracies, and that's not so a static phenomenon, na something where evolving and people then go, I'm like the APC did not get to where the APC is right now without going through processes, so that the SLPP and any other political parties. So to some extent, I defended what was going on. And to another extent, I take me time and analyze. So when I read this letter, and then I notice some of the reactions, then when they come out. Mina person is this, I contacted some of the people involved within that letter because again, I also assume when certain allegations, certain aspersions were being cast, certain allegation, I'm like, no, 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 no. The person that when he sabi, so until like this no go happen to them, then sit down, then set them out. And so therefore I said so and so person could be wrong that again, temporarily, they put with a little bit of temperedness, because I get to get the full picture. I get to get the full picture, and I don't. There's something going on. I don't know what's tripping, but something is definitely tripping today. Something is definitely tripping today. Something is definitely tripping today. I don't know what's, and I also, okay, so I will continue. This then kind of thing also can make you easily lose your train of thought, but I will power through. I am a trooper. Whatever is in the air, the prayer warriors get to it. I know you can do it. Anyways, so now I also acidum. And I said with a little bit of temperament, it means to say I did tone them down some notches from the original video where I see the first person we talk about the assault on the person of Nimako, right? Where now been the newly elected, I believe, now been the national secretary general or something like that of the NGC party, and then recently December concluded elections. So when I see this report here and I see the reactions of certain things, then I personally contacted some of the people involved to have a conversation with them. That I've read the report, but somehow I'm seeing your reaction. I feel that there is something that is not adding up. And based on the conversation with them, because some of them have promised that they will come on the show and we would have, like when I can say, and I can always do this, a non-holds bar discussion. And remember, this is not about personality. This is not about individuals. It is also part of the democratic process. Because if we don't get them kind discussions there, so we're not going to learn, we're not going to get lessons learned from the past so that we can have what we can then use as best practices. So on that note, I know say I don't ramble a little bit. On that note, I want to sincerely apologize. The first person who I want to apologize to, and again, I say with taking it down a notch because the description was a little bit, overzealous after speaking to the person. It was a little bit overzealous. Nonetheless, does not mean it did not happen. And because it did happen and the persons them were involved, self don't confirm that to me. Therefore, I will say I apologize to Arun Zubairu. I will apologize to Arun Zubairu because I cast an aspersion. I made an assumption because I'm like, you know what, Arun, because of temperament, sometimes because of intemperament, I'm like, maybe he was speaking out of intense emotion. But haven't spoken to the victims themselves or the alleged victims themselves, I can now say, even though yes, there was emotions attached to what he said, that did not mean that what he said did not happen. So first of all, I want to apologize to Arun. The second person where I want for say I am very sorry to, and that is the person of Madam Nema Cohen herself. I am sorry that what happened to you. I am sorry that on the you know, I am sorry that the situation that we are trying to avoid, certain people allow them to happen, even though we might think that because of who the people are, under no situation or no circumstance would such thing be allowed to happen in their purview. So I am sorry that you experienced what you experienced, but I'm not going to talk about the detail because, like I tell you, I will give you the time for us to have an open discussion and for us to talk about that and what that means, in fact, for the spaces, political safety for women in Sierra Leone. Political safety, safe spaces, safe political spaces for women entering politics in Sierra Leone. Another thing we I will confirm is that, without an iota of a doubt, is that it's been confirmed by several people that the NGC does not have security bodyguards. The only person who gets security bodyguards within the NGC, that not the parliamentary leader of the NGC. So that is something back way I want definitely make clear. Okay, it's been confirmed, it's been authenticated, not by one person, not by two, not by three, by several people. Because for me, I always get to go deep. How, where, when, how has it been happening, since when, who was there, who was present, do you have witness? Can you corroborate your story? Are there video evidences to prove it? If I call this person, would they say the same thing that you are saying? Or would they say similar thing like you are stating? So having done all of that check and balances, having done a very thorough search finding, apologies to those involved. Me no get biases. This is not a platform. Everybody gets the right for standing in truth and for speaking in truth. And when that time comes, like I say, we get to evaluate the major political parties then as Sierra Leone, the contributions of the leaders, the contributions towards democracy, the contribution towards the people, them, if any. And we get for look inside and proper one, and everybody would have their day, and everyone will be evaluated for what they brought to the table or what they failed to bring to the table. So I've been just one put stand day down that how I see I'm now so open one, I don't come back now so again, I don't waiting in color. Now, I look at the time, I don't know if we'll get a lot of time for really address a lot of so many things that, oh my gosh, Sierra Leone, the land. The thing Nemboku. So, this week, I don't forget the date, but if you go na 98.1, you know, I go see the summary day. I think it was a few days ago, or even yesterday. The dates now, normally I put dates to things. I not can always get time for listening to a lot of things then, but when I do have the time once in a while, I can listen to some things them, or I can look for titles them, listen to waiting they go on, waiting people and say waiting they go on. And this one also caught me attention. It caught me attention because obviously it gets for do with political dispensation. It gets for do with upcoming election. It gets for do with political parties. It gets for do with Sierra Leone as a sovereignty. And so when that then are the case, I can really try for see, okay, make us see, and especially the news them now, fast and furious, when they come inside salon, you know, the news them so fast and furious that if you not take time, you don't miss. So you get for really be strategic in what you want to pay attention to, right? Or what you should pay attention to. So on that note, Ibrahim Tomi for Center of Accountability, right? Center for Accountability, the whole one forum, Usai, he called the Pprc, he called the 17 political registered parties them. And by the way, before we get into that, let me remind you, last week when we been done Naya, so that be 90 days now we close with, not so, 90 days we close with. Today at the top of the hour, top of the show, or almost top of the hour, top of the show, make a remind una say na 83 days, 23 hour, 21 minutes, and 40 seconds. I don't left to the election. Oh, me fumble them. And inside there, we get 17 registered political party. We get 3,630 polling centers the nationwide. We get 11,832 polling stations the nationwide. We get the first one have been polling centers, the second one are polling station, and the last one, make we not forget, say we get 16 electoral districts then inside Salone. So with that, Ibrahim Tomi say, he said we get less than 90 days to the election, and because we get less than 90 days to the election, he said he want bring all the political parties then come together, the 17 registered political parties they all come together, and he said the reason why making one bring them all come together for can sit down with the PPRC, make them know wetin they go on, make them know make them discuss, make them talk to themselves, so then go find out wetin they go on, wetin they need for do, how things are going. May I tell you, there was a bombshell dropped. I dey laugh, but I not for laugh. But hey, before I go there, somebody make a remark, a passing remark, because the inside that discussion there, the police been the representation from the police when Abraham Ajab been slash the president when the Sierra Leone Journalists Association himself been Nazrali, other people so it was a what I mean, the talk for the talk. Now this cannot escape me, Mr. Nazrali, I'm sorry. This cannot escape me, and so therefore as something we need for address. I need for address am because for even before I begin do my show na VOS and what have you. Personally, if you go on my page, there is a lot of history to show that I've been doing this. For me, I know they do it for call crowd. So I have never ever paid attention to the okay, I can say bringing people, opening, because first of all, my page is a private page. You get for request, and then I get for triage first. Right now, 2,000 people sit down on my page, really wait for make a bring them kind of my personal page, and you're lucky for them on the personal page, you don't have the personal page. I don't care to grow it, I don't care to this, I don't care because it's my personal space. I do with it as I please. But what's in constant and waiting remain true is that I don't do then show ya so now. At least from where I stop academic writing, where they write, they talk to their elites there. I'm just they blow air basically. Because it's just about someone else taking my word, rephrasing it and quoting me. You know what I mean? They do nothing pretty much. I realize say for Sierra Leone, I need for come to the people them. I need for talk to the people them. I need sensitization is not going to be done through pen and paper. Because that part I don't see and several for the elites, then for people that always have a book, for people that always have pen and paper. Even the one themselves always have pen and paper self, most of themselves not go understand half of waiting and they talk, they don't understand some of the theories them, and what they quote, or the theorists them what they quote. So pointless. So over 6 7 years ago, because the APC was in power then, and it was 2010. So 2010 to now almost yeah, not to 12 year. Yes, so 2010. Since 2010, I intensify 2011, so and so, but then definitely 2012 was when it was like no holds bar, full on, right? I mean, they can't hear that, full on. So give or take, make we say, make we pull them 2 years, and so for the past 10 years, there is history to show that me, I go talk on issues, I go take me time, I go break and down, I go explain to people them wetin that means in terms of them, wetin that means in terms of we Sierra Leoneans them, wetin that means in terms of the politician them, wetin that means for we pikin them, wetin that means for we future generation them, wetin that means for we waiting at the diaspora, wetin that means for we people that were left back home. I go take me time, I explain, I break and down. So me personally, I take offense to when they ask the president of the Sierra Leone Journalists Association about disinformation. When I know for say there are 3 types of information disorder. Unano says there are 3 types of information disorder. And as we go along closer to the election, I will tell Una about the 3 main types of information disorders, right? I cannot talk about any other show. One thing I can say is that me a person way very friendly, me a person way very open, me a person way very collaborative. So therefore, sometimes you will see me on other shows where sometimes I go call in, I give me opinion, or I go whatever. Other people that where they make sure they're not a calling to me show and give their opinion and or contribute to me show. No, they don't do that. But I am very, if you they study me well, people who will get a platform, a good platform on their head, you now go see me sometimes 1 or 2 times I don't go, or I go call in, or make a contribution to something important. I know say there are a lot of misleading show, disinformation, propaganda machine, and sometimes politically motivated, platforms out there. I am aware of that. But you see, the fallacy of none. Now that you don't create a fallacy by a statement where you make, where you talk, say, they put modalities in place for sensitization, for dispel disinformation, all them things. And then when I ask you but about the diaspora, you say the diaspora they don't count. He said the diasporas then can talk about team them where they don't know but, where they not sabi but, or where they sabi small number but now they can make a like for say now they sabi. The thing is that I don't know how I can take people and where they libo by us. So now fit to say well they libo na by we don't for don water, we don't turn fish. Like me, so I don't travel out of Sierra Leone since I was 5 years old. But you show me Creole sharpen me more. There was a time when I actually lost me Creole because I not been get the opportunity for practice for talk that much. But the moment it comes because once innate, forever innate. Once innate, forever innate. People then they go to that country in and out, then they render services, then and they work on applications, then and they work on policies that were concern Sierra Leone, then they sit on committees, then and they advocate for the country, then they this, then they that. But when no more, you can say, Jack, no more. You guys sometimes treat us as though we are the enemy. But we are not the enemy. We are not your enemy. As in, if you want to go fend your enemy, turn to the politicians who have brown envelope you all. But for me to make a blanket statement, say some diaspora and medias them. Say some diaspora and shows them. You just say, as for the diaspora, there you know. But this is the very diasporas there where you go run to when you are in need. This is the same very diasporas that una go call upon when things go south. To highlight certain things, to bring certain things, to talk about certain things. But then at the slightest opportunity, una don't make we una rival. Like me, so I don't go school of journalism, so I'm not going to take credit for something I do not. But what I know is that I have a degree in double degree in communications, and I have another one in globalization. Okay, global studies and international development. So where I sit down, I also they talk. I know they talk out of naivete. I may not have gone to the school of journalism to learn how to present a certain way to do certain investigation a certain way or blah 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 blah. But communication and failure. I just make this clear because me I they talk for myself. I know they talk for any other person. I take offense to that statement the way he makes her, and because I take offense to that statement the way he makes her, I talk for myself. Media and organizational communication, how closely linked it is to journalism. Make we left the other one then. So some of we have background knowledge in these things. We not just sit down and also just they blow smoke. So sometimes they want to talk no like for the fitia we bonus self. A gross disrespect. Like just blanket statement anyhow fiti fata. Not knowing people's background, not knowing what they are capable of bringing to the table. This week, I write that post, I delete that post back on my page, not because I was in breach of anything, not because I was in breach of any of my professional code of ethics or whatever, because it's out in the public. Somebody came to me, run. It's like, oh my gosh, Matilda, you'll be so excited to edit and publish this one. You'll be so excited to edit. It mainly deals with Sierra Leone and the election, the upcoming election in Sierra Leone. I didn't know that there was an election in Sierra Leone. The way I turn and look at the person say, well, look, that's it, but you don't look excited. That's a more left, that's normal. Bring the documents again because I have to vet those documents. I have to edit them. I have to make sure the languaging is right before they can be published out to the world to see. So I'm like, just bring the documents, can make I go over and there, beg, make I do me work, make I go before. Left that, give that. And that's how I felt. Just imagine, I forget joy, I feel happy doing something for my country. I for be, that moment should have been a moment of so much joy, so much happiness. That, oh, you know what? I do these things on a daily basis, in and out. It is rare that something comes to the table that has to do with Sierra Leone, but here is one that, talking about democratic freedom, giving the space, it's an election season. People will be able to whatever their franchise and this, and I should have been really, really, really excited. But knowing what I know, I've been feel like I want to cry first, even before I touch that document. I've never seen myself walk so, like when I say fast and furious, so fast and furious and something for make it get away from my desk as quick as possible. So Mr. Nazrali, when you go out and you make such statements, do the 5-second or the 10-second rules. 10 seconds. Think about them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. By the time they get to 6, excuse me, people. By the time they get to 6, it's something where you want to talk now about to make sense. You don't want to. Then they rephrase and you mind before you pull and come on and do. And I play no more, maybe one for 6, but then I can say look like for say we get for the part 2 of the show. I'm looking at the time. There was just so much to talk about, and this thing assuming don't make it all vex. So now excuse me. But much more importantly, people, much more importantly. Now this meeting here, so Usai Ibrahim Tomi call something comot na do. And like I said, I don't talk for the past 10 years. For the past 4.5 years, going on 5 years, those who were on the other camp, all of a sudden noticed that I've been speaking. When I was speaking, and it appears as though it was for them in their favor, they all be they can't tell him now. In fact, now then first safety they dial the phone where I open the phone line. But all of a sudden, because they strongly believe, and everybody is entitled to them believe, because they strongly believe, say, waiting at they say, no favorable to them. You know, they can say they don't balance. But them get for fit clock in every sense of the way for everyone. Now I know they talk politics, so but for us all, including myself, Nayaso. So when this meeting here so come out, like I say, I cannot do the gentle thing without I not talk about this particular findings. The PPRC. Inside this meeting, the PPRC been get for make we know say, and if we not know waiting at the PPRC na the Political Party Regulation Commission. PPRC, the Political Party Regulation Commission. You see, sometimes these things are so important that, listen, I take detail. I dey take detail notes. You see, detail notes. Very, very detailed. The PPRC say, and when I say I belong in, and I also say we get 17 registered political parties then. The PPRC say, even though we get 17 registered, and this is where people, if I have said nothing this entire time, this particular thing so I can talk, so you pay attention to them. You pay, because I pray not and I wish not. But if what this is about to brew, if it brews, remember that there was a young lady that sat on this platform on this date and said these things because she loves her nation. Love comes in different form, but you forget true love. And time without number, my actions are very deliberate in demonstrating true love for my country, Sierra Leone, my country of birth, my country of origin, the country of my father and my mother, the country of my grandfather, because my great-great-grandpa Nigeria come on, so I don't go say the country of my forefathers, but country of my grandfather, country of my grandmother. Yeah? The PPRC say even though na 17 political parties, them registered political party that we get. It say na 3 no more functional. Functional we mean to say na 3 no more they do things them where they feel say or where according to them. Na it means say you can call them registered political party. You go acknowledge them as political party. People, they say that 3 no more na functional. That's what they talk about that meeting day. So they say because that 3 no more functional, then say that this coming election, this June 24, 2023, where we all done the talk about, then say, then 3 political party then they way then say functional. Now then 3 political party then name them. Then get for take go na the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone for tell them say where political party then come front face them out of the 17 na then 3 years so no na unu forgive face. Because it say the other 14 them, they're non-functional. And say we mean say the other 14 them, no they do things them where according to their own law book mean say they na political party them. I hope so now they waiting this small picking they say na so today. Then say the political party them we functional, where they say na then 3 political party then they then go put inside the ballot book, the ballot paper. That paper wanna get for take go and go either to print or una go cross or una go check depending on waiting at the rules na salon. Then say them party then they the name there. 1, then say na the APC. 2, then say na the SLPP. 3, then say na the NGC. No, you wait I say. Then say the 3 political party where they right now silence don't so na the name then get from there na the ballot paper. Where they say functional according to this the actual and personal parliament. Then say na APC, then say na SLPP, and then say na NGC. So now as you know they ask the question, say, but see for see get representation at parliament. ADP only that they don't lock and force na jail. So let us say ADP is not is a non-functional political party. But then I said to myself, what about Unity Party? What about Unity Party? Because I know for say even Unity Party, the chairlady of Unity, the person or the God, see the yet for talk. The person we form Unity Party, when at the head of Unity Party, Madam Femi Claudius Cole, we don't see them don't parade and a jail, they don't parade and a CID way, not they left for talk, waiting map as an opposition. We also have been the chairlady of the consortium, something that could have gone against this type of things. But I as alone we they begin fine, but we know they end fine. We they begin fine, but we know they end fine because of remember this word where they use selfishness or selflessness. And now the reason why the co-op did not emerge to be what it had originally set out to be. Una think and ask yourself, was it as a result of selfishness or was it as a result of selflessness? So as you know, they ask me this question, say, what do I mean? Even Madam Femi Claudius Cole Unity Party, when we know for say the PPRC right now, then they go back and forth because they interrupt in delegate conference where they make them elect the what you call it. Make them elect the una give me a second. I need to get the elect the executive. You want to tell me, say, this woman, as diligent as she is, you want to tell me, say, now, incest, una not consider them as a political party, even though una they say una get 17 registered political party, but now una 3 no more, now una they say una they can put na this ballot paper yaso. And guess how convenient the names are, the APC, the SLPP, and the NGC. Now, don't forget to say the NGC political leader, because remember, so when I've been get the NGC, when I've been get the two leaders then. When I've been get the administrative and political, then when I've been get the representative in the parliament, right? Now the administrative and political head don't resign from this party. So now the one where in the political representative na parliament chairman and he don't come. Remember waiting bring the kuskas and the scatter. He don't come, don't talk, say if the Uda wants make it follow, but they go from alliance, strategic alliance for develop the country. Now I'm going to ask a question when we come to evaluating the NGC, what does strategic alliance mean in developing the country? Has this already been set in motion, and did they have wind of this? And now was this all part of the ploy? Because up until now, the said leader that they are saying has yet to declare his intention or yet to make the public or the nation knows what his intentions are going to be or what his intentions are, other than the fact that waiting we know for sure, waiting we know that the book is that then they go form alliance with the SLPP, strategic alliance with the SLPP. And now we have the PPRC, that is the political party, the PPRC, that is the political party regulation committee, coming out and saying that they are, even though there are, how they call them, 17 registered political party, there are only 3 that as of right now, 83 days to the election, are eligible to be on the ballot paper. Emerson Lamina, we write letter to the EU, say the EU not for interfere na the political dispensation and the sovereignty of the nation, this, that the EU is interfering, and as the third, let me repeat his word, it goes at the third biggest or largest opposition party in Sierra Leone, in get the right for say if somebody they oppose or they interfere. The C4C did not make the court. The Unity Party did not make the court. The NDP did not make the court. In fact, I get for come at one point, I get for sit down list all the political party there where we get. So right now, as I speak, 14 are cut off. Make we sit up and listen to waiting at the reason. Una member say, was it earlier last year or later last year, where the PPRC gonna court, go na the what they call it, the parliament, where they say they want legislate now. Then put. And I remember at the time I not do an in-depth thing into them because again, like Nasrallah, this is your domain. This is your domain. This is where you should have sensitized the people as a journalist. This now you become a journalist for. You for don't sensitize the people them of waiting there inside the PPRC book, waiting and write inside that big binder. You for don't break and down into how they call a layman's term for the people them for understand and tell them waiting and the cargo inside the parliament house and waiting. The PPRC, they ask the representation and the representatives there for do inside parliament, giving them sweeping powers basically for do waiting they are currently setting out to do right now, which is going to be one of the greatest dangers to the democracy of Sierra Leone, or the so-called democracy of Sierra Leone, if we so have one. Yeah. As a journalist, that is your job. You not only me job for Council Donors, and at the time, Sylvia Blyden, you know, lover or hater, Sylvia Blyden sound the alarm bell to this. And I remember saying, yes, this is something that Bokutin, they were not they agree with her, but that on that particular one, I agreed with her 100%. And what she said, what she warned about then, that, you know, allowing the PPRC Act to go through as it is, you know, it's giving them more powers, and that this will, you know, create discrimination. It will close the political space. It will close the democratic space, and it will give, you know, undue right to the PPRC for discriminate between who gets for be what and when they can be what. I know say most of the time when they say Salona, a small country, for a small country, why do we have so many political parties? But we have so many political parties because, listen, all man gets the right to belong for whose side they belong. You know, they cause the political space in such a way that you limit people's rights to belong to what or where they want to belong to. So long as they can abide by the rules, so long as you provide, you design a document, you oh boy. Oh boy. Is this even worth it? Is this even worth it? No, like seriously, is this even worth it? Should I maybe I will focus my attention on, me hope for youth, empowering youths in Sierra Leone, all over the districts there. Maybe I will really focus on that. Maybe I will really focus on Melkosh Mission, International Mission, taking care of the amputees and what have you. Maybe I will really focus on, empowering women and talking about women empowerment, women as agents of change, what they can do to uplift their own lives. Maybe I will just focus on the new immigrants, the way they come inside Ottawa, help them settle down and what have you. Maybe I will focus on the other different endeavors them and really not be spending my time every Friday evening, spending 2 hours, sometimes more than 2 hours of my time doing this. Because it's like as if we're talking to the wall. It's like nobody cares. Everybody is doing whatever pleases them. The constitution, it's as if there is not even a constitution that is in that country anymore. Because everybody just they do waiting the one for do. Everybody just they pass waiting the one for, but so long as the order of the day favors them, it no matter waiting at the consequences to the layman. It no matter if you're sitting on the neck or on the back of your fellow. It doesn't matter. So long as at the moment it gives you the upper hand. So they say, even though right now for register a political party at 36 million Leon, which is about a flight to Sierra Leone, 36 million, which is about, depending on the currency, it can be more, it can be less, but approximately about a flight to Sierra Leone. They say not to for register no more. They say, but here are the things that laid where they say nine that then thing they are, so then they use right now based on this, then they use right now for saying that 3 functional political parties the normal we get in a salon. They say 1. They say the party forget a functional list, meaning say the party, the people that were there inside the party, then forget a list of the people that were there inside the party. They name them, then for be current, then for be reachable, all them things, and they will know it. A functional list. They say if the party for proof say they are inclusive, or and this is why the reason why Boko people then go ask me say, why you talk about Gento, why are we not doing the Gento show? Why are you coming with this Pprc before you do the Gento show? As much as waiting Gento say, and I go dissect them and I go analyze them, it is very important. I'm laying the table here, okay? I'm setting the stage. Cover everything you got for set the stage. I'm setting the stage here. They say the party get for be inclusive of, now listen carefully, regions, tribe, and religion. Inclusive of region, tribes, and when I read that last one, religion. How then they concern? If somebody like una left for the play with this religion thing, una left for the play, and not to fufu ball. is not fufu ball. Anybody, any tribe is open to belong to whatever they choose to belong. Any religion, it should not depend based on religion. Anybody, period, in any region, in any part of Sierra Leone, is free to belong to whatsoever they want to belong to. And I not think saying that the right of the PPRC for dictate or mandate say a political party must demonstrate this to now so uno can begin to breed and they fester hate and animosity within societies. And then when there is a catabloom, you ask where it went wrong. But you forget, all of a sudden you will play amnesia, forget say now some of the things them way una don put na ground. Now it results to this. On the effect or the impact of your past actions. And then they go say the party for be functional. What do they mean by the party for be functional? They say the party for be functional. They say the party for be represented in all of the districts then. They say not for just go no more say you get that 36 million and you register. You for be functional means say you forget party offices then all of the 16 districts then. But they do not define what party office means. They do not define if party office means say they not define if party office means say if the party not get, because not all party gets a lot of money. Some party then are now nascent party then are now then they develop, they're not mature, they're not strong like other political party then. That they don't mean for say they should not take part. That they don't mean for say you count them out, you zero, you X them out automatically. No, because remember, these political parties that you are now seeing as the giants, they also started as babies. They also started as babies. You get to give them time for make them grow, to make them mature. So if you go put so much stringent measures then, how are you opening the democratic space? How? You say then forget office system, but you not define office system. You say them forget this, then forget that, you say them forget how they call them. Then for before then come for nomination, before then come for nominate somebody, that then for don't conduct the national convention, then for don't do the delegates conference, and then for don't elect the executive. Now I remember there is a party called Unity Party who una prevent for do the delegates conference. So if you prevent them for do the delegates conference, how is it that then go do the executive nomination of executives? When una been they come up with this rule, did anybody take the time to do an environmental scope, an environmental study of Sierra Leone? Did anybody take the time, or was it just done on the basis of the current, how they call them, major political parties, them, the APC and the SLPP? Now they no more take into consideration. We do not take into consideration that your role is to be equitable, is to be fair, and to guide. Your role as the political party regulation committee is to be equitable, is to be fair, and to guide. To create space. Una not take into consideration una the laden rules there, so una not take into consideration how am I being equitable, how am I being fair, and how am I guiding. Did you take into consideration the cultural context of Sierra Leone? Did you take into consideration the demographic layout of Sierra Leone? Did you take into consideration the geographic layout of Sierra Leone? Did you take into consideration the younger generation coming and what they aspire to and what they want to be involved and be part of? Did you take all of these into consideration? They draw there on a bagbala rules there. So, did you take into consideration flexibility? And to these democratic parties there, so not to normal when election come. Now when they come, they can knock chest, they knock chest, they knock chest. To be a democratic party is to always be on the go, is to always be alert. So if you not sit down for 5 years, you are silent, you're not active, you're not doing anything, you're not participating in the space, things are happening, we're not hearing your voice. You're not saying anything, and then when election come, all of a sudden, you want to make noise. Yes, it is good to be there. Your inclusions are necessary for cultivate a space of inclusion, for cultivate a space of tolerance, for cultivate a space of individuality, for cultivate a space of choice. Your presence is absolutely necessary, but also at the same time, in as much as right now, I am very much against some of the draconian rules being laid out. I am also saying you get to also take ownership of your own pathway you dey play. Someone like the Unity Party has been very active. I go even say that they are more active and more vocal than the C4C. Sometimes have taken very much tougher stance than even the NGC. So how come 83 days to election, they tell me say APC, SLPP, and NGC na then go then a ballot box as of right now side with Team Apso, and that the 14 others they are basically X, they are absolute because they not meet according to now they not meet all the things. You said the other one and get question mark pandemic according to your exact statement from the PPRC person. He said the other one then get question mark pandemic. When they ask what waiting they go on with when Madam Femi Claudius Cole came out and explained what went wrong, because according to the PPRC say how Madam Femi Claudius Cole in party memberships they're not legitimate, and that they're not affirm say now the party where inside and register with, and then they with nine, then they with they could not reach the people, decide where and where they say, then they hold the conventions, then where they reach there, they not been see them. Are you serious? And then the lady came out and said when the PPRC called the people to do their verification, now so then call them. Hello? Now that is, you don't need for know that they call. Right now, I am changing my voice, okay? Okay? I am acting because this is not my normal voice. You don't need for know that they call. And I was party you there. This is how the PPRC called to do a verification. Hello? Now that they talk, you don't need for know that they talk. Now who's party you there? In a Sierra Leone that we know. In a Sierra Leone of current, with the atmosphere, with everything we know of Sierra Leone, you, an institution or somebody from an institution, you are calling to do a verification. You go call them kind way, then you honestly feel to say, me na the other line. I go answer you, say, I belong to Unity Party, because I don't know what your motive. You have not told me what your motive. You have not presented who you are to me. You have not told me, you have not revealed your identity. Even I also self na the first one. If somebody call me, no identify himself, I dey bang the phone by you. If you call me with a private number, if you look here, pick that phone, 4 seconds. Hello, who am I speaking with, please? If you don't identify yourself and tell me who that you be, and at that within that 3 seconds there, I decide whether I want to talk to you or not, I dey hot the phone by you. And the next thing is your number they gonna spam call and blocked. Let alone that country they now who side team up so who side they so. You a public official. You somebody where the the involvement of people participation then now you earn. You go call that kind call day. As a professional, what would you get the membership there, you get the list, you get the number. Excuse me, people, let me drink water. This kind of talk here, they choke me. You get the list. You get the numbers there. What do you do? Cring, cring, cring. Cring, cring, cring. Hello? Hello, good morning. My name is Saidu Koma. I am a representative from the Pprc. I was given your number by your leader, Madam Femi Claudius Cole. I am calling to confirm or verify whether or not you are of this party. Right there and then, you don't put the person in mind at ease. You don't explain what to make you call. You don't how they call her. You don't show yourself. Then the person go say, because I saw them they talk na salon. I did it. Then you go say, okay, can you verify your name for me? Na me name Yabo Pprc Koma. Okay. Wetin na the role where you dey play na that party day? Oh, I mean na the PRO for District 47. Okay. How long you don dey inside this party? Oh, make I see ba. Na the 5 year this so, na the 10 year this so. Okay, thank you. Verified. That is how you carry out that type of conversation in that context. And in any context anyway, I can do the more civilized one. The more polished one. But we know side we come on. Not of us say they provoke we country people them. No. But I just they say no more. In general, that's how they talk. That's how we they talk. Okay, let us be honest to ourselves. That's how we they talk. Right? So you don't put the person in mind that is, you don't wait in and call her, you don't get the information where you call for, you can certify the information. But just one night they go call hello, where the person say hello. Now that is, you don't need for know that they talk. Now whose party you belong to? If na me self, I go say na SLPP a day. Are you kidding me? So now, because of that, then they are allege the Pprc, then they allege say the list where the Unity Party send them not to an authentic list. Because when then call for do verification, the people them declare say that other party them belong to. But the tone, your manner, your approach, already don't set a tone of intimidation. It already don't set the stage for fright and fear. You as a public institution, where you they call, you get for know how you they call, you get for be professional about it. But no professionalism was used whatsoever. And now they can't talk say now they go tell the ECSL, the people them, where them for look eye to, or where them for give eye, where them they come with the nominates them. There is no point, because you already don't talk say as of right now na 3 people and then at the ballot. APC, SLPP, NGC. We already know for say, in my estimation, as I sit here right now, let us say na 2 people and then at the ballot. Because if there is a strategic alliance being formed, the NGC is forming a strategic alliance with the SLPP, it means that the NGC votes will go to the SLPP. Yeah? So at the end of the day, there are 2 people going to be in the ballot. The last election, I believe there were 16 political parties on the ballot box. And that provided space for inclusion. It provided space for people to stand wherever they want to stand. With threshold na salon for the election, I believe you have to reach either 54 or 55%. Correct me if I am wrong. I think it's 55%. You get forget that 55% margin for making them declare you the winner. Should you not arrive at that 54 or 55% margin, then there is a runoff. I believe so. But then what the last election provided and what previous election provided is that it provided people to stand wherever they choose to stand, which is their right. It provided space. It provided people the opportunity to explore. NGC gets 6%. C4C gets 3%. ADP gets 1%. That person they get 0 point something percent. That is how you cultivate democracy. How you cultivate fairness. That is how you cultivate equity. That is how you cultivate inclusion. But then waiting funny on this whole thing, the police force in Braimaja, he said they don't prepare with securities them for protect the election, for make people them. He said for make people not go and disrupt the election and this and that. The thing is that you shouldn't be worried about the people. You should be worried about your political propagandists and you should be worried about the political propaganda lots. Don't worry about the people then. Because the people, they are good. The people just want to be able to eat 3 square meals a day. The people just want to be able to know that they can send their children to school just like you can send yours. The people just want to know that when their kids are sick, they can take them to the hospital and they're not go wear black for them tomorrow. The people just want to know that there is good sewage system. The people just want to know that there is good drinking water. The people just want to know that when they go to the market, that tomorrow when they buy something for 1,000 millions, tomorrow they are not. When they go to the market, they are sitting and asking, what do I cook for my family today? Because what I bought for 1,000 millions yesterday is 3,000 million. That's what the people care about. Excuse me. So right now, they say how then they're not ready for provide security, and how then they partner. Excuse me, people. This time around, that then they partner with the Sierra Leone army. They say then they partner with the Sierra Leone army for a joint deployment. Are they using exact word? Say we are this time around we are going to partner with the SLRA with the Sierra Leone army for a joint deployment during the election. So the police get for day, the army get for day. But then they tell Unu say the people them and the political parties they need for talk to them people, they make them behave themselves. But then you have a president, and I remember we played on the so when I get a president who say he not get enough security for protect the people them, and that's the people they need for protect themselves. So who do we believe? Who do we trust? Who do we believe and who do we trust? You have a president of the nation saying, we not get enough army man them and soldier man them and policeman them for protect tuna. In all day. So unu self get for protect tuna safe. But here you have the police saying they have enough to protect. But that the people must behave themselves and that political parties should tell their people to behave themselves. Have the people been the one misbehaving? I don't think saying I've been the people that mean go take a political ballot box and destroy them the last election. I don't think it was the people. I think instead the people were insulted because you allowed somebody to take their vote and destroy their vote while you sat in silence, fold your hand, clap your face and your foot, and you looked straight ahead as a bystander. But I know what's funny about all this. These PPRC where they can make all their lawyers up at this political party, where they make all these bing so right now. All this time, the PPRC not take the time for call the political party them, for do sensitization, for the educate them day in, day out. For they make forums them, for they make focus groups them, for they make round tables them and say, hey, this 9 days or this 9 we expect from una trial or this and that or how we all go sit down together and make sure say this why also work fine for we all. What is even more laughable for me in all of this, waiting even more make a laugh, make a boss laugh by all this thing. So they put all the lawyer, they put all the rules there. So. And you know me, I am drunk for information. You know? Now that make when Nazgala say what he say, Avex. Now that make I take about 10 minutes of an attempt today at the while, you know, because Avex. Because then what I don't take for myself or go do manicure, pedicure, go pamper myself, go do massage, facial and anything, and I can sit down, they take time, they do research, they look at all the thing them, you know, just so that, you know, I am accurate. Because I take this seriously. Anything I talk, however, make sure say, you know, I'm not there so for mislead the people. Because there are people who watch me. You know, there are people who sometimes they watch, they know they talk, they know they comment. I will just go sign no more. They hear you, they will say, I hear this voice also sound familiar. So I go sit down, I don't go talking at you, no, so I go they watch them so no more. Then you go see somebody, hey, Matilda, oh, yes. Now you and I can just smile, you know. But what is more interesting in all of this is that the PPRC they lay all their rules there, so they say all anything there. So. For somebody where if you want to lay all the rules, you want to say all anything, you say the political party then, you know, they're not functional. You say they're not functional. The PPRC also is not functional, my people. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that the PPRC safe, where they sit down, where they boss bass people them right now? SFF not functional. When I go out to ask me, say how? Well, let me tell you how. Because remember, knowledge is power. The pursuit of knowledge is power. They can take all things from you, but you sense they're not taking from you. Because God no go agree. So as usual, just like I go and page them, if you talk something, I go na statistics alone, I go watch, I read. What is the information coming from them? I go look for the official Pprc page. The Pprc page is non-functional. They don't exist. They say they are upgrading. If even when they upgrade something safe, na a section, nothing all they can. Now say, okay, maybe then put them page down. Make a go na their Twitter account. Outdated. No current information. This thing where they talk about, so it has not been 48 hours yet since it happened. What mean for say, if you do something as you do, and now that the technology will as you do, and so you upload them, so that the public can access, can read. So you they put all them things so. We live in a digital world, in a digital space. You know, they create one-on-one educational opportunities, but even on your digital space, there's no information. Nothing other than their website. Their Facebook, out of date. No current information. Their Twitter, out of date. No current information. Their Instagram, out of date. No current information. None. Zot. I go there. At the time. What are they saying? Let me compare and contrast. What are they saying? Nothing. And they see 2002, 2001 information, but yet we are 83 days to election. And I believe on the 80th day or the 81st day, if I'm not mistaken, you had all of this to say. But nowhere can I find it in any virtual spaces of yours. In any web spaces of yours. Nowhere. So non-functional is pointing the finger at non-functional. Are we good one? The people there. Are we good one? Non-functional, they point the finger at non-functional. How we get for them? Don't tell me. Because I don't know. That is why I say, is this even worth it? Some serious book then they were don't buy. Where for sit down now they relax, they read and they enjoy myself. 2 hours of reading is a lot of reading for me. I don't cover a lot of chapters there. Or sometimes some good Netflix series then they were don't they miss one for sit down enjoy myself. 2 hours worth of Netflix series is more than enough for me. Or some sober documentaries then they after don't sit down they watch right now. So that's why I'm asking, is it even worth it? When even the very institutions are defunct, but the defunct institution is pointing fingers. Hey God. We are 83 days to the election. Now that make her say, are we really having an election? That make her say, listen. The other time I say it's going to be a very difficult, but very tumultuous, but very difficult part to the election. Very, very difficult part to the election. The people then. I know for say una want for ye me take about this gentle thing. But as I look at it, we're almost rounded the 2 hours. And I need the time that it requires, because everybody don't talk within and get for talk about this gentle thing, as far as I'm concerned. But I strongly feel that me don't know it and say, oh, I don't know what others have said. Maybe their thoughts might be closely aligned with mine, maybe not. I don't know. But me just know say I get a manner and a way of presenting things that is far different from others. We might have similarities and commonalities, but there's always a stark difference. I needed to lay this ground. This ground is important even as we move on to the 24th of June. This information right here is vital. Very, very important. The questions that we want to begin for the ask una self say, okay, the PPRC is now coming out and saying that 3 people then go then at the ballot box, and me don't tell una for say, by virtue of how the stage is now set, there are 2 people on the ballot box. Are we in a democracy? Are we in an autocracy? Are we in a semblance of docracy? Docracity? Autodocracy? We for begin to think seriously. If we fail to say this June 24, the way we've envisioned it, or people and they pray, people and they this, people and they that, everybody is trying to do what it takes to somehow get to a space where we can think that maybe we are moving the boat just a little bit into the ocean, so that we can start pedaling, because we'll not begin pedal little. No. So sometimes we don't move the canoe. Sometimes we don't move the canoe. Sometimes the canoe entail still there inside the sand for reach inside the water for make we begin paddle. 83 days to election. The Political Party Regulation Committee comes out after somebody from I would say from the CSOs, right, the civil society body of things, say, listen, something is not adding up here. We need to have an open conversation. Everybody needs for no side and team up right now. So I think what's the guy's name, Ibrahim Tommy, whether covert or overt operation, because now I get for the sedent here, so because what is going on in Sierra Leone and how it ends up manifesting itself, and when the picture fully shows itself, because remember, it always starts at a blank canvas but with a dot. It always starts as a blank canvas but with a dot. But from that dot, you go begin to see different small dots them, different small dots them. And by the time you begin to draw the lines and connect the dots and stuff, you're like, oh my God. You're like, oh my. So that is why I'm saying, I say thank you to Ibrahim Tommy, whether overt or covert. Cool. Maybe he knew. Maybe he was fully aware and fully informed. Maybe he was acting under selfless, remember, or the other one I can say selfish. We don't know. I'm not here to judge. My place is not to judge. My place is to analyze, lay the issues, say them for what they are, and leave you to it to decide, because at the end of the day, we're all affected differently. The way where I go pinch me, not the same way I go pinch you. Yeah? We are all affected differently. The way where it go pinch me, not also it go pinch you. The way where me own sus go fit me, not the same way your own sus go fit you. The material I go need for sew me own clothes, not the same material you go need for sew your own clothes. The kakbobi size where they wear, not the same kakbobi size you they wear. The trousers where you they wear, not the same trousers they wear. The belt I need for tie, not the same belt you need for tie. So at the end of the day, my decision, my place is to say it. Is to leave it all up to you. I would have done my job as a daughter of the soil. Somebody who lives and breathes Sierra Leone. You know, me man can say something to me, it's like, your eyes lit up the most when you are talking about Sierra Leone, when you are doing something for Sierra Leone. It's like that is the time your eye shines the most. So as a daughter of the soil, I contribute in my own way, in my kind of spaces. And this is one way of giving you my contribution as a daughter of the soil. Not always get to be monetary. Yes, I do a lot monetarily. I do a lot otherwise. But this is also one that I am passionate about. I'm not there for bend the talk. I'm there so for talk as it be. And then make Umu go decide. Like I say, all man character different. When you jam on a pepe bag, now you don't know how you character deep. I am not done with the religious statement. Unfortunately, time has beat us, but this stage was important to set. One thing I promise you do, one thing I promise you now, if not sometime this week, same time next week, we go sit down Ayasu and we go talk about, we will listen to it, we'll listen to all the different versions of the explanation. And then me go come as I normally do. I go do something. But before we left today, make me look at something. Make me look at something. There was something that a very good friend of mine sent, and also a cousin of mine, a very close cousin of mine, sent to me. I look at them, I laugh. Then I share them on my page. I see a lot of people take to it, and people have been commenting and stuff. I just feel like that's something I for share also now. So even before I say me good night to now, make we watch this. Make we watch this. And I think this also is part of a play, is in place, in motion for what happens next week. I know say by the time I reach here, so next week, if I don't have the time to come midweek to finish the show up, I know say Boku go don't happen. But trust me, I will try to cover the time that it takes, that it's needed for us to do this right. Because at the end of the day, when posterity judge me, I want posterity to judge me right. I don't know about you, but me, at least, I want to make posterity judge me right. Okay, make we listen, make we see this, make we watch this small clip, on politics. Make we watch them.
A little story about a big man who died and went to the other side. On that day, God had decreed that whoever arrives must choose where to go, whether heaven or hell. So this man was excited. He demanded to visit hell first. And he got into something which looked like a lift, and he went down to hell. When the doors opened, things were glorious. The devil had no tail. The devil had no horns. He even met his friends. They were healthy, eating well, drinking well, making merry. Then it was time up, and he then demanded to be taken to heaven. In heaven, the picture was nice. Angels floating around, good music, the Lord Almighty presiding and reigning supreme. Finally, he was asked, what's your choice? Because you are not going to be judged. There's no judgment today. Judge for yourself. He thought, you know, these bishops have been telling lies and spoiling the name of the devil. The devil is a very fine man. He looks after his people. Now all these imams in the mosque making noise, saying Satan, Satan. This man is not bad at all. And in any case, heaven seems to be overrated. As a matter of fact, it's a bit boring. That was the debate in his head. So when the angel asked him to choose, he said, I have chosen that I'll go to hell, now that I've seen it with my own eyes. And the angel said, get into the lift. He got into the lift and it took him down, but when the doors opened, things had changed. The place looked like a desert. His friends were wearing dirty clothes. They were eating from the garbage pit. And the devil was now complete in his devilish regalia. The tail was out, the horns were out, and he was carrying a whip. So he tiptoed towards the devil and said, excuse me, sir, you remember me, don't you? I was here the other day. You surely remember me. And Lucifer said, go to hell, I don't remember you. What do you have to say anyway? He said, you know, the other day things were very nice here. Things have been changed for the worse today. What's happening? The devil said, I'm sorry, my friend. The day you came, we were campaigning. So, now, therefore, we need to tell our people to know that there's life after campaigns.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. We need to tell our people to know that there is life after campaign. And all that glitters is not gold. Don't fall for the facade. Don't fall for the pampers, the pageantry. Don't fall for the niceness. Don't fall for the this. Don't fall for the that. Because, remember, you don't get to experience, you don't get to know the person during campaign. Now, after the campaign, now they experience the real person. Now they experience the real truth. Because remember, campaign na for glitter and gold, na for shine. But again, please hold that thought right there. Hold that thought right there. And hold the question. Mind games, masterminding, emotional blackmail, political immaturity. We shall see. You've not had my last word yet. It's coming. But for now, listen. If you are observing, or if you've observed, or you do observe, or you are, I wish una all a blessed Holy Week to come. because Holy Week starts on Sunday, Palm Sunday, right? Ride on, His Majesty. On Palm Sunday, those are like, for me, in the Christian calendar, this is one of my most exciting time. I love Easter. I don't like Easter for the commercial meaning where they be, and I like Easter for what it signifies to me. Growing up, being raised in a Christian family, being raised in a Christian home, understanding, being given the availability to interact and understand different forms of religious, dispensation, religious whatever. I like Easter really, really much. So normally we're small if I dey Freetown, even if I visit Freetown. And now one of me mess them for visit if I dey go Freetown. Honestly, I know a lot of people like make a lot of talk about Christmas. I don't care for Christmas na salon. Truth be spoken, I love Easter. If I dey salon, like Holy Week right now, where they can say Lenten talks, you dey see me from Monday, I see I come out church Palm Sunday. From Monday till Good Friday, I dey go na every evening you dey see me na Lenten talks. I go till Good Friday I rest time, Saturday. Sunday morning, Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday. If I'm not like one of the few people first at church, I love it. So listen, I would have the opportunity to wish you next week, but definitely, if you're observing Holy Week, blessed Holy Week, okay? And may God bless we all, may God cover we all, and definitely we'll come back to this because it's not finished. The religious statement by Mohammed Gento Kamara was, I posed the question, an emotional manipulation. Right now, the poll, they say 27%, 3 people, then they say now an emotional manipulation, and 8 people, thus far, 73%, they say now a political immaturity. So this question will be posed again next week as we sit down inside the Kotoku proper, analyzing specifically this, or midweek, depending, make we see how Holy Week go, right? Depending as we sit down, so maybe and give it, and give it the analysis it deserves, okay? To give it the analysis it deserves. I know say people have said worse, but sometimes it's the way you say it, the context in which you say it, and what you choose to mix it with in saying. That's what makes the difference. And I think saying na yaso na the space where Isiam, how Isiam, and wetin it choose for mix in between as Isiam. I think that's where the issue lies. But listen, it's not over yet. We'll come to it. Like I say, for all the people that they watch me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, something that I can forget for tell una thank you. YouTube, Facebook, and any other platforms, radio streams in Sierra Leone, whatever. I'm not sure if that part is all set up and going, but wherever you watch me from, I really appreciate it, and I hope say whatever I say, please leave the nonsense for me, leave the trash, the garbage for me. Just take the sense out of the nonsense in what I say, and may God bless you all, yeah? And may God bless you all. Unotata.
For sure, we know they vote for Gora. Them man a vote for Mama Sierra Leone. Salon we own, and we no get no other salon. Hey, vous pouvez là, how we salon Gora. Yeah.
So think of number, not for votes, but not fair. So, cause you vote now you right. So, make we forget about party or color, mama, papa, make we put the country first. I sell the country for one bag rice, or one bag kush, or one red polo.
Me I go vote and no go fence. This election, I go vote and no go fence. This election, I go vote and no go fence. Cause me vote na me right. So hope for you too. I go vote and no go fence.
election. Me, I go vote and I go vex. This election. Me, I go vote and I go vex. Mommy right,
Up for you to say we don't want to know vote upon this election. You are not voted by color, not voted by party. Vote for who that you go make Mama Jalo smile. And say when you vote, one hour in a petrol, and when me vote, I know they even no fence. If you vote for politician, then go then hours, they eat chicken, then they drink champagne. You then hours, they eat the rest. Up for you to say no violence.
If we forget about South, East, North, West, now one grace alone we get. Now we for join them together. For make this one grace alone we get. They vote, I know they vote because we family. They vote where they vote, I know they vote because of time. They vote where they vote, I know they vote because of color. They vote where they vote, I know they vote because of party. Say me go vote for the leader, we go can sorry for we. Make we vote for the leader, we go can build with alone. They make go vote for the leader, they we go end tribalism. They make we vote for the leader, we no go bring things for we. Yeah. Politicians and they lie, and they lie. They get sugar man too. So make we wise up, make them not fool me again. Politicians and they lie, and they lie. They all not the same, make we they pray. May God give me the right person,
Come on, yeah. I go vote but I no go first because Mama Salute and the only country where we get no mix by political violence. Later you go regret for party, color, you get to come in your mind. Why you for kill your brother? Why you for kill your sister? For politician, go to Mara Bambai, you no remember you again.
The youth say at the time this don't come, you vote, you value, and you get right for votes. You for both votes, but you know for